We're going to pray for our country and get out there today and vote if you have not already done so. We will, of course, continue to keep you posted on what's going on with the election as news warrants. But now it's time to tell you who's coming on the show today. Penny.
And away we go with a shot of espresso. Good day from David Zublick's Awake Nation, and welcome to our guest interviews. And now, to announce today's guests on the Awake Nation. Our first guest is Jesse Beltran. Jesse Beltran is a certified master hypnotist and president of Cosmic Clarity Connections, LLC. He exposes the truth behind Havana syndrome, implants, and targeting. You can find him at mindnexuslive.com. Our next guest is Christy Tasker. Christy Tasker is an award-winning technologist, international business consultant, designer, manufacturer, and artisan, and an international investigative journalist based in Miami, Florida, who is engaged in fighting the corruption in Miami in the political arena. You can find Christy at ChristyTasker.com, ChristyForMiami.com, and BananaRepublicNews.com. Our next guest is Kate Shimarani. Kate was suspended by the Nursing and Midwifery Council in July of 2020 and arrested after emceeing a rally against the tyrannical lockdown and lies from the British government concerning COVID-19 and vaccinations, along with the rollout of 5G. Kate is on TNT Talk Radio Saturday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Rounding out the final half hour of Awake Nation is Ginny Silcox. Ginny was formerly employed with the Department of Energy and was a designer and trainer. Ginny held Q clearance. She is a musicologist and international speaker on frequency, direct energy weapons, electromagnetics, and the danger of 5G and the future of AI. And now it's time for the interview portion of David Zublick's Awake Nation. And awake we go with a shot of espresso. It's showtime.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Awake Nation on this Tuesday, November the 5th, 2024, Election Day. My wife has just texted me problems with some voting machines in Birmingham, Bloomfield, and Rochester Hills. Those are three very conservative communities in Michigan, so no surprise there. And also, Bernie Marcus, the co-founder of Home Depot, has died today.
Oh, my.
Yeah, and he was a Trump supporter, by the way. Let's bring to our next floor here the great Jesse Beltran. Jesse, good morning. Welcome back to the show. How are you?
Good morning. How are you two doing?
Good.
Good. You know, I just want to say, you know, when we hear this theme, a threat to democracy, I just want to thank you two, because the thing that's going to save democracy and our freedoms is platforms like yours and others who allow us to disseminate information that otherwise the main media will never even touch. They censor it. And I just thank God for people like you. It's very important, and everyone needs to get out there, and we need to get out that vote. And I'm going to just.
We appreciate it, and I want to
thank God for people like you.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because we have the platform, but we need the voices to speak the truth, and we are happy to give you that platform to do that, because we want the truth to be told by the people who are living it and who are doing something about it. You, sir, are the hero as far as we are concerned. Okay, the compliment, but you are outstanding in helping a lot of people who are true victims of a true thing, Havana syndrome. It is real, and there have been targeted attacks, and we appreciate what you're doing.
Well, it's the only thing I know how to do. We've got to do the right thing here. So I'm going to jump right into what we're going to do. I hope you got the link. In a second, I'm going to have you play a presentation that I created, but not just yet. I'm going to read something before. For those of you who are maybe just watching for the first time, basically, we've shown over the past several months that for whatever reason, there are individuals who are complaining of this Havana syndrome-like syndrome, or AHIs, that we are pulling out implants out of them. And we have proven that these implants are emitting a signal from their person. When you hear this, it's very hard to conceptualize. But I'm going to read another document that was disclosed to me that I wanted to show you the last time. And then we're going to show the video. And basically what the video is going to show, the whole process, because it's hard to really understand sometimes when you're hearing it verbally. And is my screen showing?
I will put it up right now. There you go.
Okay. Okay. And this document, I just created a short, but it's about a 654-page document. And it's about individual rights and the federal role in behavior modification. This is a study prepared by the staff of the Subcommittee on Constitutional Rights of the Committee on the Judiciary United States Senate, 93rd Congress, in November of 1974. And I'm just going to go, this is basically about experimentation. And it says, within our electrophysiological laboratories, we presently have the capability of programming the wide variety of audio-visual stimuli with concurrent recordings, heart rate, both directly and in beats per minute, galvanic skin responses. Now, I'm not sure why they're doing this, but I have an assumption. It says changes in penis volume, electromyographic responses, and alpha and beta brain waves. We presently are in the process of developing portable biofeedback devices which can be used for self-monitoring in vivo. The planned use of the number of satellite facilities outside of UCLA, notably at Tuscadero, Camillo, and Vacaville state hospitals, raised additional questions of control and made it more difficult to monitor carefully the activities of the CSRB. Moreover, Vacaville, once again, Vacaville Prison, and Atascadero were state facilities that had attracted substantial notoriety for allegedly unethical procedures over the past several years. Moreover, among the principal figures involved in the formulation of plans for the center were a number of controversial researchers in the field of behavioral control technology, notably several psychosurgeons, proponents, electrophysiological methods of behavior. One was a researcher who had conducted substantial research in methods of electronic control of human behavior, including the use of radio transmitter receivers to determine the location, activities, and even thoughts of individuals. That's what I wanted, just to plant the seed of what we're dealing with this. You know, God, we hope that, you know, God is in control, and we know he is. But if there was ever a mark of the beast, we're dealing with it now. And you can go ahead and play this video. And basically, it's the process. And when you visualize it, pay attention to this licensed medical professional who I'm scanning, and look at the emotional response. This is really, it is like a rape. There's no other way I can say it, but it's an intrusion on one's person. So go ahead and play it.
Mr. Chairman, ranking members, congressmen, it is an honor to speak with you today and give voice to the unseen, the U.S. government, AHI survivors, and their families. My name is Greg Edgreen. I stood up and led the DIA's task force, which was in charge of taking care of our survivors and determining the cause. For background, I'm not an analyst. I'm a retired Army and intelligence officer. The following are my personal opinions and do not represent the opinions of the government. Given the classification of this topic, many of my comments will have to be made at a future closed-door session. As a country, we have been here before. Most people think this all started in Havana in 2016, the widely reported Havana syndrome. This led to the U.S. withdrawing most of its staff and ending rapprochement between Havana and Washington. But before Havana syndrome, there was the Moscow signal. Soviet intelligence bathed the U.S. Embassy in Moscow with microwave transmissions. The health effects were similar to what we see today. There are many examples of syndromes and ailments from Americans injured in the line of duty that the government did not recognize for many years, which were eventually proven. Agent Orange used in Vietnam, the Gulf War syndrome, burn pits during the forever wars of Iraq and Afghanistan. In all of these examples, America took too long to acknowledge these injuries, and our service members languished without care. Havana syndrome is no different. The gaslighting of AHI survivors continues to this day as history repeats itself. Throughout all this, I learned America's best men and women in national security are being targeted and neutralized in a global campaign. AHIs have been reported in the press in every continent except for Antarctica, with a large percentage of these attacks occurring in the homeland, in American, in this town. The impact has been that mission-critical government officials working abroad and at home are being removed from their post with TBIs.
So this is, we're going into our preliminary scan here, and this is what when we do a scan in the field with the JM20 Pro.
Okay, start, just look straight forward.
There.
And what you're seeing is a positive detection of, for whatever reason, some type of frequency around her TMJ, which is her temporal mandibular joint.
There.
And in her case, was probably one of the strongest I've ever encountered out in the field.
To your right, just a little bit.
Notice how she moves away, there's no detection. She comes towards it, detection.
Come towards me. Step away. Come towards me. Okay, don't move.
Now, and she came to me complaining of all the exact symptoms that you hear today of AHI's Havana syndrome, or those who believe that they are being electronically attacked.
And you're watching.
Mm-hmm.
Should be the cloud comes down.
And I have an assistant who is always watching the JM20 Pro to see if it detects a signal.
Okay, same thing, let's lean to your right.
So we're also detecting one on that left shoulder.
Lean to your right. Come towards me. Don't move.
And what we'll do is we'll tag it so that we can come back and use what is called a frequency counter.
That's on her left-hand side.
Correct.
Is she left-handed?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so we're done with the front. How are you doing right now?
Okay.
You need to take a break?
You want to drink water? Yeah, I want to.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. So we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it on the back.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't disclose what she does as a career, but she is a licensed medical professional.
Obviously,
Okay.
steps close to RF detector. It goes off only in those specific areas right now, so we'll see what happens in the back.
Yeah, it's important to know.
Sensitive setting?
Well, I had to, this is sensitive anyway. It'll pick up 1 part per million. That's what the manufacturer says. So what I do is if the signal is too strong, I have to calibrate it down until I can do an appropriate continuous scan. Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll talk about this. It's not unusual because these tend to be the areas that we, for whatever reason,
Pretty common.
Okay.
yeah, okay. So now you turn around.
Yeah, so these are pretty common sites where we'll get a positive reading.
There. Okay.
There, right there.
Now, yeah. Now, the reason we use a telescoping wand is because each length detects a certain frequency band.
Come towards me. To your left. Come towards me.
So is it the top of the shoulder or the upper arm too?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. No. Let's say arm. Lean to your left. Come towards me.
So we'll go ahead and mark that spot also.
Okay. Now you step to your right. Stop. Foot. Okay, good. You doing okay? Sure. You want to take a break? Hang in there, okay? Nice big breaths. Deep breaths, relax.
Okay. Let me go.
Okay, go ahead.
And it's not unusual to have these individuals have breakdowns. And people who are going through this just know how traumatic this can be.
Wow.
Especially vindication.
All right.
Yes, that's important.
Okay, so turn around. Face them back. Okay.
Yeah, just remember Colonel Egren testified that this is meant to make a person look like they're crazy.
Yes.
And we pulled the tag because this is sensitive enough to actually, your tags have a little RFID in it, so it'll actually
Right.
sense that. Yeah.
Right.
Turn forward. Come towards me. Turn forward.
Again, another common area, which for whatever reason, we consistently find these areas coming up positive.
Now this portion. How you doing? Okay. So we said one more thing to do is we're going to use a frequency counter and see what numbers we get off of those areas. Okay.
So now we come out, this will find a frequency. Now we're going to read a frequency in those areas.
So now you might need to come in closer, hon. So you can get.
Well, I zoomed in.
Okay.
Yeah. Why don't I do that though?
And this was incredible how strong this frequency was. It's the strongest in any scan I've ever done.
So this is a frequency counter. See that bar graph?
Mm-hmm.
That tells you the level or how strong that signal is.
Okay.
And
100 being the most?
well, you see this
Yeah,
bar graph?
yeah,
Okay. I have not come across it being that strong on most of my scans. Usually we'll see like 2 or 3. So whatever's happening, we really need to take a closer look at this region here. And I'll
All
talk
right.
about why.
All right.
But let's record this.
Hold on. Can't focus in.
So there's no denying that we're detecting some type of signal.
You got that?
I
wanna
can't.
make-
I can't
make
see where the
sure-
decimal is though.
It's 96 point.
And we'll go back and we'll do this exact procedure in each of the locations that the JM20 Pro detected a positive emission.
You got that, huh?
At this point, we can't say emission. We just say for whatever reason, we're detecting a frequency around their person. Yeah.
Not as strong. This is typically what we will see if we get a positive. Remember I talked about 2, 3, 4 bars? But still. Might as well do this. Might we turn around? We only got one area on the back. So this is a frequency counter. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
A little bit.
So the way that works is we use a frequency detector on the GM20 Pro, located in a general area. Now this is specifically for when you find that general area, when you point that one at that area, that'll give you the reading that's coming in. Yeah, it's coming from there. Yeah. And got it.
Angle it towards me just a hair.
And it's important that we record these when we do these scans because you're so right, Penny. It does give them vindication
Yeah.
that there's something going on.
So now we're not getting a signal. So extended, which reads higher frequencies, I mean a lower frequency. So now as we go higher, it's not picking it up in that area.
So then we always get medical imagery if we can. In this case, this is an MRI scan. You'll see there is a foreign body on that right TMJ area.
All right.
This is on the left side. And this is a panoramic x-ray that now shows a foreign body in 2 different type testing. Then typically we'll do a nonlinear junction scan.
Of our nonlinear junction scan on this individual. A nonlinear junction scan is important because it tests for active and passive technology.
And for whatever reason, these frequencies and this range are popping up when this person is in a semi-controlled environment. This is actually a bank vault.
Oh, wow.
That this was done in, yes.
That's crazy.
Notice how this frequency says wireless speech and video. Very interesting.
Notice how a frequency is detected within this environment and this individual is scanned. That is demarked in the red area. The following is our base 3 scanning. It is done in a controlled environment, which is called an anechoic chamber, which blocks out frequencies between 9 kilohertz and 18 gigahertz. We use control subjects. That means someone who is not complaining of any symptoms. And then we use those who have come up positive in our preliminary RF scan. Notice how the control subject tests 0 for frequency emissions, while the symptomatic subject will come up positive for frequency emissions within the shielded environment.
Now, this is someone from the embassy there.
Okay.
And as we expected, nothing. My partner says, holy crap, because now we knew that we were in an environment that was frequency free of emissions. Here's another control subject.
0. Just a second.
Whenever that's flashing, it's scanning for frequencies.
I got it. Yeah.
Now we bring a symptomatic and non-symptomatic person into the control environment.
Okay.
Now we should be getting 0 if there was no emission.
Yes. Fine.
But look at that.
Okay. Yes.
And we'll gate it till we get the strongest emission.
So why don't you switch? There you go.
Flashing and scanning, 0.
Okay.
This is when we knew that we accomplished what we set out to do.
In the following scene, you will notice a photomicrographic report of micro and biosensors that were removed from one of our clients who came up positive in the preliminary RF scan.
And you've seen this report before, but it establishes we use chain of custody. They found waveguides. Yes. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I lived right around the corner from Qualcomm.
Mhm. And these were the results. Obviously, they were all determined to be biosensors. The circuitry was noted, the antenna fibers, nano arrays, all documented. And then ultimately the sensors.
Specimens, all determined to be biosensor implants.
If your assessments here are correct, these are very covert weapons, aren't they?
Yes,
They
they
don't
are.
leave behind bomb fragments, bullet holes, etc. They could absolutely be used by our adversaries and have very low levels of, very easy to deny they were even there, that they were used. Is that correct?
That's correct. There's no entry or exit wound. How they're designed is to make the target feel like they're crazy, like they're imagining things, especially on the low duration, the low intensity, long duration hits.
Disturbing. Before I get to my questions, I just want to reiterate that we're going to do everything we can to assure that the victims, those that are suffering, will receive consistent health care. For what?
Now, this is only for federal employees at this time.
Right.
Right.
Of course, Mr. Edgren, the evidence, no intentional attack. Yet, what I'm hearing from Mr. Zaid, Mr. Grozov, is that there's a possibility that something is out there attacking us, especially in Homeland. Mr. Edgren, based on what Mr. Zaid just said, what are your thoughts
My personal thoughts
as an intelligence officer?
is that I agree with them. My personal opinions is that this is a global campaign and it includes attacking us here at home. It is a strategic issue that is going to impact us.
Is this a attack by the Russians, just the Russians, and is it against the U.S. solely or other allies as well?
I have to be careful what I say here. So let me say this.
And if I can, say what you can. If you gentlemen feel better talking about this in a more secure setting,
I'll start by saying
work
this.
on that as well.
Congressman, thank you for the question. Give me 20 minutes in a skiff and I'll convince all of you. I know where the bodies are buried. I know the cabinets to look in, the questions to ask, and the people to subpoena.
So it's taken 15 years to get to this point, and the bottom line is Havana syndrome, anomalous health incidents have been happening for quite some time now, and that's the whole process. And this really, we can go ahead and close out. This is 15 years of hard work, where we finally come to where we are today. And this administration has been no help to this cause. So it's so important that people get out to vote today. Yes. We really need a change. We know that this, if there is a change, we know there is an extended hand for help. And so thank you again for giving us this platform. And it's so important what you do. So important.
Thank you for bringing this to our viewers' attention.
Thank you.
Which hopefully if Trump gets in there, and hoping that he does with the new administration, this will be investigated and we will continue to expose it going forward. Jesse, thank you for being a regular contributor to the program. We look forward to the next time.
We'll see you next week. Well, 2 weeks.
Right.
Okay.
You,
Take
Jesse.
care.
God bless you.
Bye.
Jesse Beltran.
Wow.
On the Awake Nation. Huge stuff there. Huge. And many victims. Many.
Yes, I had to laugh when they said, is this Russia? It's actually our own country. It's our DARPA. It's our CIA. And it is a global agenda.
I'm sure it's coming from foreign entities as well.
Yeah, it's a global
We
agenda.
know that it's going on here and it's happening to our own American citizens, and it is designed to make them feel that they're going crazy. And it has been exposed not only by wonderful people like Jesse, who's doing an outstanding job of bringing this to people's attention, but people like our later guest today, Jenny Silcox, and of course,
Amy Holm.
Amy Holm, who's been bringing this to our attention as well. And folks, we consider it to be an important enough bit of information that we are going to continue to use every resource to bring it to your attention. Okay, Jesse Beltran is one of many great people, but he is a yeoman and a true American hero as far as I'm concerned. Let's bring in